Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Loser Remote. Our first guest is from Ebony. She is a spoken word artist. Let's give it up for Latoya Pinkney.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Nice to have you on the show.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So, let's get right into it. How long have you been writing poetry and performing it?
Well, I've been writing since I was about 8 years old, and I've been performing since I was about 14. I've been really heavy into the spoken word artist scene in New York for about the past 3 years.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's excellent. Nice job.
Thank you.
Now, where'd you get this inspiration to do this?
Well, when I first started writing, it was more so just to relieve stress. If something was bothering me, I would write. And then as I got older, I started writing about more serious issues, like I'm biracial, so I write a lot about that, more so to inform people about my feelings towards interracial relationships and things like that.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Have you ever competed against other poets?
Yes.
Really? Have you won?
Yes, I have.
Excellent job.
I competed in one of the Sugar Shack Slams in the city, and I came in 4th. And I also competed in the Taste Lounge Slam in Bloomfield over the summer, and I came in 1st.
Wow.
Excellent job. Now, do you have any poems you'd like to read for us?
I sure do.
Really?
Yes.
How about we check that out?
All right.
Let's
then.
get right in, ladies and gentlemen.
Blueprint. I'm staring at the sketch of these words and I see these poems clearly. But these are the poems that exist in the deepest of the depth of me. Yes, you want me to build them so you can see, but these are the poems that are personal to me. There's a poem in there about a drunken daddy, and even though clean for years, you have no idea how that affected me. But yet I love him dearly because I know that each and every AA meeting was for me. These are the poems that you need to take in slowly, like the poem about the uncle who touched me. I'm sorry, but I told you. These are the poems that are personal to me, of HPV and cryosurgeries, horror stories of my girls and me, STDs and HIV and the lives that were taken from me. These will be the hardest poems to write. These are not love and hate poems that you see everywhere in sight. These are not sensuous poems for lonely nights. These are the poems about my life. These are the poems about my struggle, about my fight. And these are the poems that I want to write, This is the blueprint to the poems that I want to write. I want to write a poem about polka dancing and pierogies and Polish prosperity. I want to write a poem where collard greens and kielbasa come together in unity. I want to write a poem about my mulatto identity. And I want you to know that mulatto is 1 part European and 1 part African ancestry. And that makes up the whole that is me. Now, even though I always wanted that 50-50 thought to win, I want to write a poem about the color of my skin and that grandmother that never claimed me kin. Yes, that grandmother that never claimed me kin and the rest of the white fam that committed that sin. Now, for all you African Americans that try to tell me no white blood lies within, I want to write a forget that thought poem right by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Pause. I want to write a poem for Sharon Ann Salkowski and how she loved her babies and tried to be the best mother she could be. But then I want to write a poem about how life would be if she gave up those drugs for David, Dawn, and me, because they took her life, you see. And for a second, I thought she might have loved that needle more than me. So I watched Never Die Alone, wishing that heroin only existed in movies. I want to write a poem that makes dealers throw out their stashes and say, Lord, I'm sorry for taking these lives from thee. I want to write a poem that gives addicts the strength to seek help sincerely with the help of family and Christianity. I want to write a poem that gives them the power to endure withdrawal and the toll that it takes on their minds and bodies. Y'all, I want to write a poem that makes my mother smile down upon me. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to write a poem to God that says, Lord, I love you. Then I want to see him come down and say, my child, I know you do. As he takes the pencil and erases all my sins, says, start anew. Write this poem in 7s. Write your way into heaven and let the world know that I am not just a legend. So then I'm going to stand there and I'm going to write that poem's lines in stanzas of 7 and 7. And then again in 7 and 7. And then again stanzas and lines of 7 and 7. Take one more look at this poem and write a stanza in lines of 7. And then as I hand you those 49 lines for your salvation, I'm begging, because I'm standing here trying to write you and me into heaven. I want to hear the angels sing. No, I want to walk through the pearly white gates, and I want to hear my poems ring. I want to hear God say, my child, I grant your poems immortal, as they ring with the kings. And then as I walk through the streets of gold and I receive all my blessings, I'll know that the writing was worth the crying, because now all my poems have wings, and y'all better believe that this blueprint here is just the beginning. Thank you.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Thank you.
You see, I could barely get through a monologue. You can do that. That's amazing, I tell you.
Well, I've had
I
a lot
wish
of
I could do
theater
that.
training too.
What?
I've had a lot of theater training too.
That's terrific.
Yes.
That's true. When can we see you perform next?
Well, I just finished my book, so my books are for sale. It's called Deep Inside Me. They're $10. And the next show that I have is at the Bowery Club in New York on November 19th at 10 p.m. They're doing a feature for Urban Erotica, so I'll be performing at Urban Erotica at the Bowery Club in the city.
Good deal.
Excellent.
Thank you.
LaToya Pinckney, ladies and gentlemen. LaToya Pinckney.
Thank you.
We're going to take a little break, but don't go far, because when we come back, we will have Hey Dude. Stay with us.
Go on and close the curtains, 'cause all we need is candlelight, you and me, and a bottle of